Hello! It is Sunday the 15th of December and therefore time for the start of another reading vlog. I'm going to start off with talking about my current reads. So we have The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. I'm on page 238 of 385, I believe, and I'm really hoping that I'm going to finish this today because I'm really enjoying it. I'm super invested in the characters and I feel like I know where the story is going and what's going to happen, but I really want to get there and see it happen, if you know what I mean. And then I also have a manga, which is I Hear the Sun Spot by Yuki Fumino. This one, I mean it's manga so there's no page numbers, but I've read this portion, I have this portion left. It's actually a little bit of a slow manga read because one of the characters in here is deaf, and I think that the writing is reflecting that by jumping around and being a little bit difficult to follow in terms of who's speaking and when. So it's just making it a little bit of a slower read, but I do understand why it was done that way and I do think it's very clever. I am enjoying it, but it's just taking me a little bit longer than a manga usually would. And then I am also listening to Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. I have an hour of the audiobook left, but like I always say, I listen at 2 times speed, so I have about half an hour of that left, which I'm going to listen to while I drive over to my friend's house because I'm visiting her and her kids this afternoon. So I will finish that on the drive there, so that on the drive back I will start Mockingjay, which is book 3 in that trilogy. And that's it for the current reads. In terms of physical reads, what I will read next will either be I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman or Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, although I think I'll go for I Was Born for This just because it's paperback and I do need to go into work tomorrow. It will just be easier for me to take a paperback in on the tube than a hardback, and then after tomorrow and Tuesday I will be done with work until the new year, so I will have plenty of reading time so I can then get to The Queen of Nothing. Then I also want to read, per my TBR, The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia, still not sure, State of Sorrow by Melinda Salisbury, which I still need to finish, and I also have my local book club book, which is An Unkindness of Ghosts, but I haven't picked that up yet because they didn't have it at the bookshop in time for me to buy it after book club. So I feel like I should probably wait until after Christmas to buy that now. And I have until the 9th of January, I think it is, to read it. So I think I'll just wait until after Christmas, beginning of the new year, to pick that one up. For now though, it's day 15, so time for another advent calendar book. Let's see what it is. Aha! The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. She flees on her wedding day. She steals ancient documents from the Chancellor's secret collection. She is pursued by bounty hunters sent by her own father. She is Princess Leia, 17, first daughter of the House of Morrigan. The Kingdom of Morrigan is steeped in tradition and stories of a bygone world, but some traditions Leia can't abide, like having to marry someone she's never met to secure a political alliance. Fed up and ready for a new life, Leia escapes to a distant village on the morning of her wedding. She settles in among the common folk, intrigued when 2 mysterious and handsome strangers arrive, and unaware that one is the jilted prince and the other an assassin sent to kill her. Deceptions swirl and Leia finds herself on the brink of unlocking perilous secrets that may unravel her world, even as she feels herself falling in love. This is book 1 of the Remnant Chronicles. Book 2 is The Heart of Betrayal. Book 3 is The Beauty of Darkness, and this author also wrote the Dance of Thieves series, which is more modern. This one has been around for quite a while. I think it's very much from the backlist TBR. This was published in 2014, so only 5 years ago. It's not that old, but it is a very floppy paperback with an awesome map on the end pages, which is really unusual for a paperback book, and I'm looking forward to reading it. I have heard quite mixed things about this series actually, but like I say, it's from the backlist TBR and I kind of fancied it, so yeah, picked this one up. Probably won't get to it for a little while, but we'll just not talk about that. And I'm gonna head over to my friend's house now, so I will see you later. Okay, it's late, it's midnight in fact, and yes, I do have to go to work tomorrow, but I stayed up late to finish The Afterlife of Holly Chase, and it was so worth it. This was such a good book. I'm so emotional after reading this, and I just massively recommend this one. The characters were so engaging, I was so invested, I felt like I knew where the story was going, and it was so much better than what I imagined in my head. And I really don't ever get emotional about books, but I just loved this. I absolutely loved this. It's going to be in my top 10 favourite reads of the year without question. It was amazing. I will probably reread it every single December from now on. It was just, I just loved this book so much, and I highly recommend it. Please pick it up, you won't be disappointed. It's just, I'm too emotional to talk about it properly right now, so I will review it probably later in the week once my emotions are slightly more in check. But I loved it. I loved it. I really loved it, and now I should probably go to bed, and I kind of just want to reread it right now because it was so good. I wish I could get this on audio. I really do. I might keep an eye out and see if I can get it on audio at any point, because I just, this was a great book. Duh! Okay, good night. Good morning. It is the 16th of December. I am about to head to work, but first, let's do the calendar. It's a really heavy one actually, so let's find out what it is. Okay, so it's The Demon King by Cinder Williams Chimer, which is book 1 in the Seven Realms series, which is a series that I'm really interested in picking up. It's from the backlist, but that's okay. And I believe I recently spoke about this in my series I want to start video, so I will link that for you up above. And this is really heavy. Why is it so heavy? How many pages is it? It's 506 pages, so I suppose that is quite a lot of pages for such a thin book, but it's also floppy, which is always nice. And I'm running late for work, so I'm gonna go. Good morning and welcome to the 17th of December. Please forgive my crazy hair. I need to wash it because it's crazy. But for now, I need to do some work. And first, I need to open my calendar. Okay, today we have Roar by Cora Cormac, which is the first book in a trilogy, I believe. Also nice and floppy. Challenge a tempest, survive it, and you become its master. Legend says that Aurora Pavan's ancestors first gained their magic by facing a storm and stealing part of its essence. Aurora has been groomed to be the perfect queen, but she's yet to show any trace of the magic she'll need to protect her people. To keep her secret and save her crown, she'll have to marry a dark and brooding stormling prince from another kingdom. He'll guarantee her spot as the next queen and be the champion her people need to remain safe. But the more Aurora uncovers about him, the more a future with him frightens her. When a handsome young storm hunter reveals he was born without magic but possesses it now, Aurora realises there's a third option for her future besides ruin or marriage. She might not have magic now, but she can steal it if she's brave enough. So, this is fantasy. I think it's YA, but I'm not 100% sure. This is just on my TBR because I've heard some really good reviews about it, and that's enough for me, you know? It's a fantasy, good reviews, sounds interesting. On TBR it goes. Hello, please excuse my crazy wet hair, but it is the 18th of December. 1 week till Christmas. Exciting. So I'm going to open this. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Yep, as I expected, it is The Gardens of the Moon by Stephen Erickson. It's the only mass market paperback that I picked up for this calendar, so it was pretty easy to tell what it was, but this is the start of an epic fantasy series that I've been meaning to get to for quite a while, so I thought it was the perfect time to pick it up. It's quite long, it's 728 pages, I think, yes. Oh no, hold on, that might just be 703 pages, and then it's the glossary and things. So, let me read you the blurb actually. Bled dry by an interminable warfare, infighting and bloody confrontations with Lord and Amanda Rake, the Malazan Empire simmers with discontent. Its legions yearn for some respite. For Sergeant Whiskey Jack and his bridge burners, and Tattersale, surviving sorcerers of the Second Legion, the aftermath of the Siege of Pale should have been a time to mourn the dead. But Empress Lasine's gaze has fallen upon Darujistan, for this ancient citadel, last of the free cities of Genabakis, still holds out against her. However, the Empire is not alone in this great game. Sinister forces are gathering as the gods themselves prepare to play their hand. As usual, doesn't really tell you too much, but it's a epic fantasy series, so the less you know, as always. And I'm excited to start this. I won't start it until the new year, probably, but it is one of the series that I would like to start in 2020. So I'm glad to have this first instalment. It is supposed to be very heavy and difficult to get into, but that's okay. I'm ready for it. Good morning. Just a quick check-in for now while I open my calendar, but I am going to give you a proper reading update later on. But for now, let's find day 19. Well, that was easy. Hooray! 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas, which is the short follow-up story by Adam Kay to his book This Is Going to Hurt that came out last year, I think, and I really enjoyed that book, so I wanted to pick this one up. It's a lot shorter than I expected. It's like a little mini hardback. I don't think it's written in poem form. No, it's just written in regular format, but I will probably pick this up, well, I feel like I have to pick it up before Christmas because of the name, and I'll give you my thoughts when I do. Hello! So I thought that I would do a quick reading check-in for you. So I think the last time I updated you I had just finished The Afterlife of Holly Chase, which I really enjoyed. It was an absolutely great read. I guarantee it will be on my top 10 of the year, possibly my favourite of the year, although I'm not going to pick a favourite because it's too hard, but I really enjoyed this one. And then I also read I Hear the Sunspot by Yuki Firmino, which I did enjoy. It's not my favourite manga I've ever read. I found that it did jump around a little bit, which I understand why that was done, because it makes you relate to the character with a hearing impairment, because it is a little bit confusing to follow the dialogue. However, it also meant that I struggled to connect with the characters in general because I really couldn't always tell who was saying what, and it wasn't necessarily from any specific character's perspective either, so it was just a little bit of a tricky one. I think that it would definitely take more than one volume for me to get into. From there I picked up I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman, which I read and listened to because the narrator, or one of the narrators of this one, is the same as the narrator of Radio Silence, which I really enjoyed. This is a dual perspective story that follows a character who is a member of a very, very famous boy band, and the other is one of the fans of that boy band. And the fan has purchased a meet and greet ticket for the boy band's concert, which is coming up, and she's meeting her online friend who is also a fan of the band in advance of that concert and staying with her for the week. And we follow both of the characters in the few days leading up to the concert itself. And the male character is trans and also pretty badly suffers with anxiety and paranoia, which isn't so much centred around him being trans anymore, but that sort of period of his life triggered it, I think. And so he really struggles with the fame and especially the intensity of the fan adoration, which stops him from being able to go outside on his own, and, you know, alongside his paranoia, causes him quite a lot of trouble. The female character is struggling with her identity outside of being a fan of this band, so there's not so much of a plot line in this one. There is, but it's very, very loose. It's mostly a character-focused story on those two characters as they experience what it is to be human, I suppose. So I did enjoy it, but I can see why it's not for everyone. There are a lot of people that don't like this book, and I can totally see why. I can definitely see it being a bit of a Marmite one, to be honest. I'm still listening to The Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. I'm currently 7 hours in. I've got 4 hours and 45 minutes left, and as you know, I listen at 2 times speed, so that's 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I'm actually driving to my friend's house tomorrow, and it should be about a 2.5 hour drive. So I will finish The Mockingjay tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure which audiobook I'm going to pick up after that. Let me see what the options are. So I've got The Curse of Chalion by Lois McMaster Bujold, which is the book that I have to read for the Magical Readathon, because it's the only one I own I've been able to find that was published in 2001. So there's that one, but I think I want to follow along with that. Ditto Ash Princess, so possibly not those. I did also manage to get The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo on Scribed, so I could start that. Or I've also got on Scribed Every Hearted Doorway by Shannon Maguire, which I could also start, and that one's 4 hours, so that would cover my journey home because it's a fast read, so I'll listen to it at sort of 1.5, 1.75. So those are the options of my next audiobook, so I will keep you posted on what I do with those. And then my current physical read is Remembrance by Meg Cabot, which is the book set in the future of the Mediator series, and I had planned on finishing my reread of the original 6 before I picked this up, but I read those so many times when I was younger and I didn't want to wait to read this anymore, so I've just picked it up. This takes place after the main character, who is the Mediator, which means that she can see and speak to ghosts and has to help them move on to the other side, wherever that may be. this takes place after she's finished high school, finished college, and that's all I'll say, in case you haven't read the original series yet and want to. I don't want to spoil anything, but this follows her life at that time. So she is about 25-ish, I think, when this takes place, and I'm 28. So it's really nice to be back in this world. It is written in a slightly more mature style. I'm not very far in, I'm only on page 88, so a way to go yet. It's 388 pages, I think, so I'm really enjoying it. It's nice to be back here, it's nice to be seeing the characters again, and like I said, it's written in a slightly more adult sort of tone. It's still, I think it's still a young adult book rather than an adult book, but considering the original books were middle grade, I think that that is a nice step up. We have grown with the character, and I really like that. So that's where I'm at reading wise. As I mentioned, I am going to my friend's tomorrow, and it's a couple of hours, 2.5 hour drive in each direction. So not sure how much filming I'll be doing over the next couple of days. I'm going to be doing some pre-filming tonight and pre-editing and scheduling of videos because I'm going to be away, but I will still do my advent calendar tomorrow morning before I leave, and then in the morning on Saturday I will be taking my camera with me, and I can't think of anything else to update you on just now. I'm going to watch a Christmas film and do some Christmas wrapping, sort out my nails before I film, and that's about it, really. So, yeah. Good morning, it's Friday, December the 20th, and I'm just about ready to head to my friend who, like I mentioned, is about 2.5 hours drive away, and I did plan on taking my camera and my day 21 advent entry with me. However, I do have to take the gifts for Lee's family because I'm dropping those off with them while I'm up there as well. And as it transpires, this is day 21. Of course, it had to be the big one. So in the interest of saving space with packing, I'm actually going to cheat and just open days 20 and 21 right now. But I don't feel like it's cheating too much because I clearly know which one this is, so it really doesn't matter. So let's start off with day 20 and see what this one is. Woohoo! We have Warcrafts by Marie Lu, which has one of my favourite tropes ever in it, the competition trope, and I think it's also kind of like the Hunger Games but video game style. So it says, teenage hacker Amika Chen makes a living catching illegal Warcross players, but the bounty hunting world is a constant struggle, and when Amika takes a risk and hacks into the opening game of the Warcross Championships, she becomes an overnight sensation. The now famous hacker is whisked off to Tokyo to meet the game's creator, the elusive billionaire Hideo Tanaka. He needs a spy in this year's tournament and wants Amika for the job. But it's not long before she uncovers a sinister plot, one that could shatter the entire Warcross empire. I've been wanting to read this for absolutely ages. It sounds right up my street. I think it's technically classified as young adult sci-fi. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I am 100% sure that I want to read it. And then we come to the big boy, day number 21. Let's see what it is. I can tell you that one of my viewers, Michelle, is going to be very excited. Because yes, it is indeed the Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy box set by Sarah J. Maas. So this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but from a fae romance perspective. That's all I really know about this series, other than there's quite a lot of smut involved. I think that this is new adult, so not quite adult romance, So perhaps not as smutty as I'm used to, but a little bit more smutty than your young adult romance would be. So this is my day 21 and I am very much looking forward to reading this one in the new year, and I may or may not have a video planned that involves these three. So I'll leave you to figure that one out. And now I'm afraid I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Not that you're even going to notice, because for you I'll be back in about 2 seconds. But anyway, I will see you on Sunday. So I'm actually finishing out this vlog on Sunday morning because I ended up getting back pretty late last night and I was absolutely shattered. But on the plus side, I did managed to read the entirety of The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid on my drive there and back, and then I briefly finished it when I got home. It isn't as good as Daisy Jones, I don't think. It's told in a somewhat similar style, so it is an interview, but unlike Daisy Jones where you're listening to the interview itself, you in Evelyn Hugo are being told the story by Evelyn, and there are brief interludes of Monique, who is the person taking the interview. There's a lot of talk about how interesting and good the reveal was about why Monique specifically was chosen to tell Evelyn's life story. I wasn't that impressed by it, to be honest. It was fine, there was nothing wrong with it, but I don't understand why everybody finds it so good, to be honest. So that's just my take on it. Didn't think it was as good as Daisy Jones, but that follows because Daisy Jones was written more recently, and in general authors improve the more books they write, so it stands to reason that Daisy Jones would be better, and I definitely prefer it. I totally get the hype around Evelyn Hugo. It is a good book, but I don't know, I just didn't feel as connected to Evelyn as I did to Daisy Jones and the Six. So that's my take on that. I only have about half an hour of listening time left on the Mockingjay, so I will finish that today, but for you that will be in my next vlog, and I haven't really made much reading progress otherwise because I was with my friend, so I wasn't reading. I did watch the first five episodes of His Dark Materials with my friend, and I thought it was good. It's pretty true to the books, which stands to reason because I'm pretty sure that Philip Pullman himself consulted on scripting of it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's right. And yeah, I thought it was okay. I am not a huge fan of the casting of Lyra, and in general some of the casting was really good and some of it was just okay. But I haven't seen the end of the series yet. I think the last one is coming out this week sometime, so I guess at some point I'll probably watch the rest of the episodes, so 6, 7 and 8. But yeah, was okay, was good, was fine. And I guess I'll sign off this vlog here and see you next week in the next one. So that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button, and I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks, bye.